Good morning students. Saira, welcome back to the computer session. Till now we have completed chapter number 1 and 2. All of you know the unit test exam will start from 19 July. So the computer portion is chapter number 1, that is computer language, and chapter number 2 more on Windows 7. So we will follow the last year paper pattern, okay, and 20 marks paper, that is multiple choice and true or false. So we will start the revision. So first we will start with chapter number 1, computer language. So language is a medium to express our views and feelings. To communicate with a computer, we also need a language which computer can understand, right? So what do you mean by program? Computer programming is the process of telling a computer to do certain things by giving it instructions. So these instructions are called programs, right? And the process of writing specific instructions in a computer language is called programming. And the people who do this job are called programmers. So the instruction comes in different languages. They are called programming languages. Okay. The computer language is used to communicate with computer. So the languages are developed in different types of work on a computer. So Lady Ada Lovelace is regarded as a first computer programmer. Okay. So broadly the computer language can be classified into 4 categories. That is machine language, assembly language, high level language, and the 4th generation language. Machine language, as we know, computer understands only binary numbers, that is zeros and 1 to perform various operations, right? 0 and 1. 0 means off state and the 1 means on state. So machine language has the advantages of very high speed and very low memory utilization. But understanding the learning machine language is tough and time consuming process. Because of machine dependency and execution code speed was low, so machine language, okay, is known as LLL, that is low level language. Okay. So this language, the machine language, is extremely machine dependent. So what do you mean by machine dependent? If you have written a program in one computer, may or may not run on another computer, right? So because of this, very few people opted for specialization in machine language. So machine language is what regarded as a low level language. Now assembly language. The assembly language uses mnemonic codes in place of zeros and 1. Okay. Assembly language uses mnemonic codes, or you can say symbols, in place of zeros and 1s. Okay. So here, instead of remembering the exact memory location where data and instructions are stored, here in the assembly language, symbolic memory addresses are used for data. But here again we need a translator. So translator, because machine doesn't know any language, right? The binary machine knows only a binary language, that is machine language, right? Okay. So that's why translator programs, also known as assemblers, were developed to convert the assembly language program into machine language. Okay. Assembly language, see, assembler is a converter, right? So that is a translator programmer. Is which one? Assembler. Okay. So assembly language is easy to understand by the human being as compared to machine language. Okay, can you see here, input is assembly language. So in between the assembler is there, that is a translator. Okay, it will translate into a machine language program. Okay, this is okay. Now high level language. So machine language and assembly language are low level language because of it is machine dependent and very difficult to learn and time consuming. So there was a urge to develop some languages that common man can understand and user friendly language. Okay, and machine independent. Okay, that means you can write a program in one machine, that same program you can be used another machine. Okay, so no need to write again and again. Okay, so which one is the high level languages? So high level language quite similar to English language, that is basic, C, C++, Java, okay, etc. These are all high level languages. Okay. Now in high level language again we need a translator. Okay. So that is interpreter and compiler. Two types of translator in high level language. So interpreter is translates the program line by line and the compiler translates the program at once. Okay. Now can you see here the programming, high level programming language, low level programming language is which one? Machine language and assembly language, and the high level programming language is Fortran, C, Pascal, right? C, C++, Java, these are all high level language. Okay. Now fourth generation languages. So what are the features? Ruby, SQL, right? So these are all fourth generation language. The fourth generation language is highly user friendly and independent of operating system. So very high speed of execution and reduced level of programming efforts. Okay. So can you see the programming language here? Okay, for machine language and assembly language and high level language. Okay. Okay, here see programming language, low level is the first generation, second generation, high level is third generation, fourth generation and fifth generation language. Now what is artificial intelligence? Okay, so what is artificial intelligence? Artificial means what? Which is not natural intelligence, right? So artificial intelligence, that is AI. Software is a computer program. So AI is a branch of computer science concerned with making computers behave like humans. Okay, it is behave like humans. So artificial intelligence is the ability of a computer program or a machine to think and learn. Okay, it is also a field of study which tries to make computers smart. Okay. So the for example speech recognition, problem solving, learning and planning, social media monitoring, e-commerce, Google Map, right? These are the example of artificial intelligence. It works on based on artificial, it works based on artificial intelligence. Okay. Now we will see a types of computers. Okay. Types of computers, microcomputers. Okay. So in the microcomputers are small in size and the cost is also less, right? That is microcomputer. So they are usually designed for personal use. Okay. So therefore they are also called personal computers. The microcomputers are called personal computers, right? So desktop, laptop, handheld, these are all microcomputers. And the mini computers are bigger in size than that of microcomputers, right? But they have a higher processing speed and are costlier than the microcomputers. Okay. And next one is mainframe computer. So these computers are very powerful computers. Okay, so they are big in size with a large memory and high speed, and they are designed to tackle huge amount of information. Okay, and you can, next one is supercomputer, right? The supercomputers, they are the most powerful computers with a huge processing speed. Okay, so these computers are used for what? Weather forecasting, space research, satellite control, right? That time they are using supercomputer. Now, okay, the first interactive computer game was Space War. So, at locator identifier separation protocol, that is LISP, was the first computer language for writing artificial intelligence programs. Okay, it was created by John McCarthy. Now we'll start with chapter number 2, that is more on Windows 7. Windows has many utility programs for day-to-day applications and entertainment. So these additional programs are known as accessories. So which are the additional programs? Calculator, notepad, window media player, sound recorder. So these are all additional programs. Okay. So now what is window media player? So window media player is used to play and organize digital media files, that is audio and video, on your computer and internet. Okay. Now we will see a RIP. The RIP means copy CD to your computer. Okay. You can copy songs, right, from your music CD or DVD onto your computer with the help of Windows Media Player. Okay. When you RIP music, that means you are copying songs from CD to a computer. So once the songs are copied, you can use window media player to play the songs, and you can organize the playlist with the help of Windows Media Player. Now all of you know how to RIP, that is how to copy CD to your computer, right? Click on the start button, all programs and Windows Media Player. Insert a CD into your CD drive, right? You can see the list of songs will appear in the Windows Media Player. When you are done with the selection process, can you see the checkbox there? That means we have selected all the songs from the list, right? And when you are done with the selection process, click on the RIP CD option, right? So the ripping process will start, and you can see the RIP status of individual songs, right? To stop, if you in between you want to stop the ripping process, you can, any point of time you can stop RIP button, right? Okay. So the song here, the songs are ripped to the Windows Media Player library, where it is in the Windows Media Player library. After the songs you have been ripped, go to the library and play them. Okay. Now burning CD. So the burning CD means copying data from a computer to CD. Okay. So copying information on a CD or DVD is easy as saving on a hard disk. By selecting a folder of software, photos or even music and dragging it to the CD or DVD icon on a computer folder. Okay. So first of all you will insert a CD into your computer. Okay. Then you can see a autoplay dialog box appears. Then you can burn files to disk using Windows Explorer option. Okay. Burn a disk dialog box appears. Then mention the CD name. You have to write the CD name or disk title. In the detail we have learned in the last session. Yes, children. Okay. Then empty disk folder opens. In that folder, all drag the files that you want to burn to this folder. Okay. So on the toolbar, click on the Burn Disk button and okay, you can see the wizard over there. With the help of wizard, you can process one by one steps. Okay, children. Okay, now exploring pictures. So picture folder, right? Exploring means you can see the pictures, right? Picture folder, you can store digital photos, images and graphic files in the picture folder. So to open this folder, how will you start? Start and picture option from the picture folder, right? So by default, remember by default the pictures are displayed as always thumbnails. Okay, so you want to preview the picture, double click on that picture and you can preview the picture. Okay, the same thing, you want to preview the next image or you can take the magnify glass, you can reduce the size of the image or you can rotate using the various option. Okay, in the button, then the given button. Okay, now we will see more on Windows 7 here. Microsoft has designed Windows 7 to simplify your everyday task. So it works the way you want to, makes new things possible. Okay. Now here touch screen. Okay, the touch screen, with a touch screen screen, that is a touch screen sensitive screen, that is a hardware, right? And the which software is using? Windows 7. So with the help of that hardware and the software, you can use your fingers to browse online, flip through photos, shuffle files and folders. So these are all touch screen, right? Nowadays you can see that everywhere we are using a touch screen. So mobile device is also touch screen. You can see ATM machine, right? So everywhere we are using which one? Touch screen, right? Now how to search the file? So searching made easier in Windows 7. Using Windows 7, you can quickly search things using search box in the start menu. Okay, click on the start menu, you will get a search box. In that you have to type which one you want to search. You want to search a picture, just write down the picture. Okay, you will get all the pictures, whatever pictures are there in your computer, you can see the picture folder, right? Now Windows 7 taskbar. Okay, the Windows 7 taskbar is flexible. You can pin your favorite programs on it for easy access. In the last session, we have learned, right, how to pin the program in a taskbar. Okay, and you can preview the thumbnails of the files or programs by pointing to the icons on the taskbar, right? And we have learned the new peek features. So what is the use of new peek features? It allows you to peer past all your open windows straight to the Windows desktop. Okay, how to do is, just take the mouse pointer in the right edge of the taskbar. You will find that the open windows instantly turn transparent and the desktop of the computer is visible. Okay, then we have learned a jump list, right? So jump list also a new feature in Windows 7 which takes you right to the documents, picture, songs or websites, whichever you are used, right? To open a jump list, just right click on a program icon on the Windows 7 taskbar. Yes children, so we will stop this session. Sai Ram.